Hey there, YouTube friends, Masked Bandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it, and welcome back to Brazos Square, the 50 by 50 park that I started about a year ago, and I'm here to tell you that this episode, episode number 10, is indeed going to be the final update, the final building episode. I do think we'll do a small cinematic video with all the POVs as a special little sign-off for this, to encapsulate the workshop, the file going out on the workshop. So you can expect one more video, much shorter than any of the previous ones, just a cinematic awesomeness. But we did it. We made it. Well, not yet. You could see, wow. So there's some work to be done, isn't there? You will see that we have this whole back area here by Grasshopper that needs some doing. Need to build a restaurant. Need to clean all this up and curb and path and curb and light and curb and lots of stuff to do. So I can't waste any more time with this. Let's get right into it and see the final few updates to Brazos Square before we put the good old done stamp on it. So right away here we have the main restaurant of this area. It's one of two, I guess, it's one of two, I think, sit-down restaurants in the park. Whataburger, and then this one. Welcome to Cedar Creek Cafe. This is inspired by a restaurant here in the Houston area that is inspired by Austin, I guess. We used to go here a bunch. My wife and I met our photographer for our wedding, talk about wedding details, for lunch here once. Now this is just a real rough approximation of it. Oh, there's an archer. We have it is the little the cowboy statue thing isn't in the real one, but the architectural style is very much inspired by the real deal. Threw some signs up. It's one of those places that have like a bunch of stuff on the walls kind of vibes, and it has a beautiful patio area with picnic tables, good burgers, good drink selection. They have a cafe in the mornings, so it's a really nice place here in the city, and so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to squeeze it in here. You'll notice it is squozed in. It is squeezed in for sure. It's a little close here. I think the spray of the boats might hit. Let's look. Yeah, maybe. You'll notice there is no table right there. It's just in case. I don't know. But I went in and I downloaded, well, actually, yeah, I did. I downloaded a smoker off the workshop. This is the same one that is in Summerdale for barbecue. And I added a little smoke particle effect, and we had our cowboy friend here. He's probably smoking up some ribs or pulled pork right now, I think. And we got another seating area out here in front. Now, these are TMTK. These are non-functional. But I had to get really creative with the pathing here. The pathing was an absolute nightmare, and I wasn't actually able to get a true storefront. All I was able to squeeze in here was a just ribbon vending machine. So we have vending barbecue, which is gross. So, which is disgusting. So, you know. But good enough, I suppose. At least it'll draw people in, and maybe they'll actually sit down here on the patio overlooking the flume, which would be super cool. Put the sign for Grasshopper down here. I think this is where we're going to put it, and we're going to dress it up. We're going to curve it, make it look real nice here, and then dress up the entrance area, and all that stuff. And then I think I go on a binge of curbing and stuff. One of the last things we're going to be doing in this episode is the station to Grasshopper. But yeah, I know that there was no updates on the building of this. It's all pretty straightforward in-game pieces. There's really nothing to write home about here. It's pretty easy to see the shapes and the pieces that I was using here. A lot of beams, very wood-centric. Yeah, so this is the Cedar Creek Cafe. It rounds out this area, and now we just have to make it look like it all belongs together. So let's jump ahead and see what else we have in store today. And you can see how that sign turned out. I'm really happy with it. The grasshopper looks like, well, cricket. I don't know if you can, if it's that easy to tell. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care if it's a cricket and we're going to say that's a grasshopper. But like, I love how integrated it is now. I think it really turned out well. I used some tall grass TMTK, some cattails TMTK to really up the whole grass vibe. And I even made a cute, I'm very proud of my trellis. I think I made a little arched trellis here as the entranceway, put the butterfly up there. I just think this is such a cute little entrance now for this STC, I think, suspended thrill coaster. Here it comes. I have checked clearances. Clearances are good. But yeah, look at this. This really makes it feel completed out here, doesn't it? Threw in some fencing in the exit queue. Redid the entrance and exit. They were flipped, and I had the queue coming out this way, and I didn't like that. I knew I had way more room over here, so I went ahead and we're going to extend the queue even a little bit more. So, and now the exit is back on this side. And then I decided, since I was here, I should probably go ahead and curb up this area, use some mulch. This is one of my new favorite pieces, the TMTK mulch. I've used it in other projects, but I just really like it. And then we've got the addition of the Don't Die fencing here. This is, I think, Hydro's tall fence. And, oh, that's so good. Through some of these signs. These signs are by Jaunty. Geekism, he made these signs, and we just went ahead and wrapped it all around so that now as you walk down this area, you get beautiful views of the coaster. You can get really close, but you are also kept safe from it, which is good. Pleased with that. And we continued our curbing all the way to the balloon ride, which still needs its sign. The Balloon Fiesta is what we're going to be calling it, which is, I know it's not Texas, but New Mexico has a hot air balloon festival called it's called Balloon Fest. What did I just say? Balloon Fiesta. There you go. I couldn't think of the word. Balloon Fiesta. Somebody in the last video commented that you need to give the guy over here a sunshade. So I did. I gave him his own little umbrella to cover himself so he doesn't get all burnt. We're going to also be changing all the colors of the staff members' uniforms to match what we've started in the first couple episodes to the Bro Nation colors. So we are plodding right along, and this is the beginning of the great curbing experiment. So the next couple updates might not look like a lot, but what's going to happen is you're going to see all the green go away. Well, not go away, but the green that stays is the green that's intentional. We're going to cover everything up, path everything up, curb everything out, and make it look just that much more polished. This is the tedium part here, isn't it? The part where we go from 80% to 100% takes a long time. So let's get cooking on those nitty-gritty details. So like I said, we named this ride Balloon Fiesta. It is just a simple in-game sign. I figured I'll go all out for the coasters and the bigger rides. These little ones I can just sort of do a good enough job. I don't want to spend the time or parts on making every ride sign super unique. The coasters and all that, they all have good ride signs, but this one, good enough. Balloon Fiesta. I changed the colors up just a little bit. I actually went with the yellow and red of New Mexico's flag, and then the blue in the actual little logo here that comes with the aeronauts. That's the sign for the in-game ride, has this blue and red. So made the fence blue. I actually like this a lot better. I wasn't really ever happy with the color of the fence that I had. Wow! Wow! As I was saying, I was never really happy with the fence color when I first put it in. But hopefully you're also noticing, oh look! This is no longer wildly unsafe. We now have the Don't Die fencing in on this side too, and I do believe it is all completed now. The entire coaster is safely behind fencing. It does get really close to the path though. Whoosh, yeah. I think I still love it. It's still probably my favorite, one of my favorite coasters I've ever built. So we've got the curbing going all the way around. I don't want to take up too much time looking at curbing, but just starting to shore up transitions. We went ahead and put the fence around the car ride and dolled everything up here, really hiding the green wall there, the go away green wall. And yeah, it's starting to feel, oh, gotta do a little bit more here. It's starting to feel a lot closer to done now, but as you can see up here, there is still so much to do over here. This area needs some dressing up too. And there's just an awkward amount of space right here. It's just going to be paving. because I tried to put a couple things in there, like a little shop or a stall, and I wasn't pleased with any of it. So we did not add that at all. We add a couple in various places, but nothing there after all. So yeah, it's funny. Like that's it. Well, yeah, it takes a long time to curb and landscape and fence. So, and I have to go around and do a good chunk of the park. So yeah, it does take a little bit of time here. So I think we're going to push ahead probably a little bit further, just because I don't want each update to be, oh, yep, here's some more curbing and fencing, here's some more curbing and fencing. So let's get to something a little more substantial. I forgot to mention that one of the big things I did was I went in and I actually did upload a custom terrain palette. I got some trees. I got the leaf texture that we use in No Name Landia. I found a nice dirt texture that I liked. And I also went ahead and swapped out some of the grass. Kept the pavement in, obviously, the asphalt texture in, because we're going to need it. And yeah, so you'll see anywhere where it's not manicured landscaped, we have the leaves and dirt combo, which I really like a lot. It almost can pass off as mulch. I didn't want to overuse the mulch. So where it wasn't explicitly like high maintenance taking care of garden, I went ahead and I used this custom terrain paint. As you can see here, we've added a bunch of little details, some carts throughout the area, a tree here because there was room. And as I spin by, all of a sudden, all of that is gone. All of that ugly empty space is gone. Everything is in its place. Curbs are in place. Plants are in place. There's really nothing fancy to it. There's nothing to it but to do it kind of a thing, which is why I didn't think it was all that important for you to get every little piece of detail here. A couple things that I really like. I like to occasionally plop these manhole covers around. I think that's a really nice touch, just to show that maybe, there's some infrastructure here. Added this beam to signify the change in paths here, because we're getting some weird glitch. Had to fill in some parts here. If you look real close, you'll see these are adventure wall pieces, those non-gridded adventure walls. Oh, Cedar Creek Plunge now has a sign. You will see it's kind of big but unruly, but I like it. We've got our entrance area here. I've gone ahead and added the thrill level and the approximate wait time for all of the big rides. So we have that going on. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of stroll through this area here. Decided with the empty space here, it really wasn't working with the little carts that I had. So I went ahead and I pulled the original Mexilente truck that I made for No Name Landia. That was later changed to be a nod to Ruble. But I pulled in the Mexilente truck and threw some clutter out to kind of shore up this space and make it feel a little more special. Added our condiment cart, which I like to do. And yeah, shored all this up now. This actually makes sense. It's pretty. You can't get in there, and it doesn't obstruct the view too terribly bad, which are all important things for me. So hopefully you are digging the way it's going. You will also see, if I go back here, we have added in the cover beams and everything. They're a little off kilter. I will fix that, don't you worry. If we come back in this area here, you will now see that the Grasshopper does have a station. It is a super simple station. Not a lot of theming to this ride. It does go back here, and I love how janky this cover is. Like, it's so just boring. So utilitarian, but you do get good views. You get nice views of the coaster screaming into the brake run. Extended the queue a bit here to fit even more peeps in, and yeah, you get the nice last inversion. And then the station, I use the colors of the cars with the colors of the supports to use the colors of the station here. Made sure that our beams holding up the station cover are not in the way of the peeps, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's not much to say about this station. I use a lot of hydro beams because they're just super flexible, and all the different sizes they come in is excellent. I probably can't hear it on this recording, but I did on the video. But I did go ahead and add music to the entire park. So you'll be hearing all kinds of different in-game soundtracks as you walk through the park, which is always a little something that kicks it into overdrive. So it's at this point where we are almost done with the park. We need to do some lighting. I am not a master at lighting, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go in and I'm going to give everything the once over old college try, bless your heart light package that hopefully it will look pretty all right. But oh, look, the roofs are all in place. Every building now has a roof. We're going to add some more of these little details on the top of them. Over here, these buildings are all sealed off now. Everything's good to go. It actually looks like a functioning building now, which is, kind of a big deal. Something you kind of want to do when you're making a theme park. So, yeah, you can see, it's starting to really, really look good. And don't worry about those little marks as you zoom in. You will see, oh, yeah, they are taken care of. So, I don't know. I think I'm pretty pleased, as one would hopefully be when they are coming to the end of a project they've worked on. It would really suck if I was like, yeah, this is terrible and that's terrible. There's some bits and bobs that I'm like, But for the most part, I'm really pleased at how this came out. Let's take a look at it at night. Some of the big highlights of the lighting package. We're not going to look at everything, but let's take a look at the park at night with some lights on. Alrighty everyone, this is going to be the final update for this episode. I did put the reshade on. I actually haven't looked at the park at night with reshade turned on, so I'm excited to explore it with you. We're going to do just some quick bits here, but from the entrance here, not a lot going on. Lighting wise, you can see the Buc-ee's tower in the back. That's cool. And you can see a little bit of the wooden coaster, but let's head into the park and see what we can see here with our lighting. Just the lift hill of just the drop of the vertical dive coaster is lit up because we got the lighting on the flat rides, and then I'm really happy with how this ended up back here. I think the coaster's looking pretty snazzy. You can see we lit up this curve here and tried to get a bunch of different colors in on the wooden structure. And actually, I really like how this happened too. The little tunnel area here with these singular lights. It looks a little dank, but I kind of like it. And then you come through, and there's some lighting in here. You can see we've got the lighting going on throughout the wooden coaster and the station. I tried to make all the stations really bright. Again, just so people can see what they're doing and stuff like that. So real simple, nothing to it. I tried to keep the lighting real straightforward. Like I said, it's not a forte of mine. So I just wanted to make sure it was, you could sort of see where you were going. I remember when we went to Cedar Point in 2019, we were all surprised at how dark the nighttime park was. This is the darkest part of the park right here, actually, because of this big open space that we couldn't really do anything with. So just threw some lighting in. Look, yeah, the coaster looks pretty good, I think. Lit up the fender bender sign, put a bunch of lights inside the ride so you could see it back there. I think that turned out pretty nice as well. Just random light posts around. Redline had done a beautiful job lighting his carousel, so I did not touch that in the slightest. And I just tried to make this area pop. This is kind of my favorite architectural area of the park, so I thought we got to do it, justice. So we got every building lit up real nice here as against the carousel. And look, you got the Ferris wheel in the back there. I think this is probably my favorite part when it comes to the lighting. You can also see that we've lit up the coaster, the grasshopper in places. So certain elements are really highlighted here, but other parts are left dark. That's intentional. I do like the way that all came out here. We have our golden eagle now has a sign. Again, simple, but using Ruby's awesome bollard covers here throughout the park. Anytime you see little bollard covers, it's probably from her set that she has on the workshop. You can get them for yourself as well. Just a little bit of lighting here in the Mexican area. We've got this cute little string lighting. Yeah, just nothing major. Lit up the churro sign. I thought that was, or the churro restaurant. I like the way that looked. Again, lit up this the inversion here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too in your face. Just a little bit of lighting to kind of hopefully make the area pop. Lit up the lift hill. So this is pretty cool, actually. I think this looks pretty nice at night. Didn't do a lot with the car ride because they have headlights on the front of the car, so I figured it wasn't really all that necessary. Did go ahead, though, and light up the little city scene. Made sure you could read all the names of all the signs and everything. Make sure most of the queue covers have good lighting. But the rest is just sort of there, isn't it? Let's take a look at what happened with Grasshopper's lighting. Again, I think this is really nice with the warm lighting here on the sign and the cool lighting on this final inversion. I'm pretty pleased with that. One of the things I'm really excited about with the lighting that I did in this project is use these smaller lamps, kind of like garden lamps, and I used them throughout the queue to light the queue, and I'm really pleased with how that came out. You see here, very basic structure, gets very basic lighting. But again, the station, very, very bright. I like that a lot. Almost like fluorescent kind of looking with the color choice there, which was intentional. Lit up the restaurant real nice so you could see your food. You know, you want to be able to see your food. And then tried my best at some mood lighting here on the flume. Pretty happy with it. I think the mix of warm and cool with cool at the top is nice. And as you ride through it, the area is lit up. I lit up the tunnel, nice and dark. Again, lit up the sign so you can actually see it. Yeah, everything you should be able to read. Anything you need to read should be lit up is kind of how I went about it. Did some stuff in here. Oh, the queue back here is still dark. Oops. So, a couple things to tweak before the final release to the workshop, I guess. But that kind of brings us back around to the beginning. It's nothing crazy. Lit up the, actually the pit. Lit up a little bit of the Immelman here. Just a little. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it's just enough. I think it's just enough to sell the idea that an attempt was made. So let's go ahead and switch back to daytime, and we'll do one more little flyover with our reshade on here during the day. Let's just take a quick peek-sees around, get some interesting views here of the areas. Look at that. So this is what you can expect to explore real soon on the workshop. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take some photos and get everything prepared, get that workshop download set up for everyone. And once it is ready to go, I will go ahead and make a cinematic video to tie in, and I will post it here along with the link. In that cinematic video will be all POVs of all tracked rides, all coasters, the flume. We'll even do the fender bender now that it's completed. So I'm just so happy with how much I was able to squeeze in and get done with this project. And I hope you've enjoyed following it. There's going to be no voiceover in the next episode. This is my last time to talk to you here about Brazos Square. Do not worry. I know we're going to be switching to some skylines coming up. I'm going to be working on that. A lot of you seem very interested in that, but that does not mean that I am not going to play Planet Coaster anymore. I'm already thinking about what we're going to do with Conifer Slopes. I would love to get a phase 2 of Conifer Slopes out to everyone. It is actually closer than you think it is, and considering how little is included in phase 1, it would be a massive thing to get a phase 2 out to the workshop as well. So yeah, this is it. This is the 50 by 50 completed Brazos Square amusement park. That's gonna do it for this episode. Kind of all over the place, but you know, these final cleanup episode, it tends to be that way, doesn't it? But I hope you've enjoyed this journey over the last year, all 10 episodes. And like I said, I'll be back one more time. Well, Brazos will be back one more time on YouTube with a cinematic video and a POV video with the link to the file to the park on the Steam Workshop. So I hope you are looking forward to that. That shouldn't take too terribly long to get together. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed following Brazos Square, do me a favor and hit the like button, and tell me your favorite part of the park down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And I think that's going to do it for me today. So have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever, and I will see all of you for the next Planet Coaster content. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.